This is fine. This is fine. This is a poor substitute for therapy, but an excellent substitute for other podcasts.
We're not like other podcasts.
Join us as we find the answers to the universe's biggest questions like, is butter a carb? Does crying burn calories? And what the fuck am I doing with my life? We're here to be your part-time therapist, astrologer, concierge doctor, and fairy godmother. Do you need someone to validate you today? Cool. Come on in. We're fine. This is fine. Welcome back to this week's episode, y'all. I hope you're fine. Today, we have my dear friend, Courtney Resch, here with us. Courtney is like my fairy godmother big sister or fairy god big sister, as well as my neighbor, hairstylist. The Chris McMillan to my Jennifer Aniston, which is a very niche reference. And if you just got that, slide into my DMs so I can send you a prize. She's the owner and master stylist at Ashen Salon in La Jolla, California, an entrepreneur, educator, mom, and all-around rock star who inspires me every single day. Courtney and I initially bonded over some mutual traumas, which isn't funny, but it's kind of funny now. And she has been through some seriously difficult shit, including a traumatic brain injury, a broken back, and more that I'm going to let her explain, as if those two first things weren't enough. In the midst of all this, she continued to run a business, one that she's had for about 15 years, get engaged and married, have a baby, and girl boss so close to the sun. I brought her in today for our first edition of a series called Trauma Hour. Basically, we are going to drink wine, unpack, talk about some real shit, and use humor as a coping mechanism while talking about what we've learned. Fun, right? Yay, trauma! Hopefully, though, after this, you feel a little bit less alone, a little more validated, and maybe a bit lighter overall. Before we get started, if you would like to support our show, you can subscribe to our Patreon at patreon.com/thisisfinepodcast. If you don't have the means to sign up on Patreon, we'd sincerely appreciate a 5-star rating, if you feel we've earned it, of course. And if you subscribe to the podcast itself, it all helps us grow. Thank you so much. All right, welcome to Trauma Hour, Courtney.
Hey.
I'm so stoked you're here. I have absolutely no idea how this conversation is going to go. We've opened a bottle of wine. Big thanks to my beautiful sweet dentist, Sienna Palmer, who gave us Palm Rosé.
I wish my dentist gave me rosé.
I know, right? I hope she's hearing this. You're so special to me, Sienna.
Me too, Sienna.
Thank you for this wine, because for some reason, these two besties are really nervous about recording our first podcast together.
Yeah, your voice in front of you, in your ears, it's a little bit intimidating.
It feels disgusting.
It's all right. We'll get there.
All right. Well, all right, so we're kicking off this series called Trauma Hour, which is a really scary sounding thing that I think is only funny to me right now. But my hope is that it will sound funny to other people, because I'm like, yeah, it's happy hour, but you start drinking and then you start unpacking all your shit with your friends.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I mean,
that's most of the time, right?
Yeah.
That's
cool, basically, being a hairstylist essentially all day.
Yeah. So you
these conversations I thoroughly enjoy, clearly.
Yeah, everyone's always unloading on you, huh?
Yeah, it's the best. And the worst, but the best.
So you're a therapist and a hairstylist and a business owner. Can you just unpack all of that first? Tell people who you are and don't be afraid to brag.
Oh man, you're funny. I own a hair salon down in La Jolla, California.
It's so beautiful.
It's very cute.
Yeah.
We're right in Windansea, right by the water. I've been there for 15 years. Taught classes all over, teaching hair painting, balayage, and taught in the schools. I have a little 2-year-old girl.
Yeah, you do.
She's the cutest thing ever.
She's so cute, little Liv. We speak to her in French, too.
Yes, she speaks French. Well,
she speaks...
on her way.
Yeah, she speaks French. The most important words, when she's eating bread, she's like, encore. Yes. Again, more bread.
More bread.
Love her.
I know, she's the best.
Yeah.
So, just kind of momming out life at the moment and figuring out the balance of all the things.
Yeah. And running a business and being mom, business, wife, recovering from traumatic brain injury. Yeah, that's what we're going to get into a little bit today, too.
And just kind of, figuring out how to balance all the things and find
just
joy.
Like all of us.
Yeah, and do it where there's intention and joy more than anything mixed in with it. And how do I find joy in life with all of the things?
Yeah.
So, that's where I'm at, and just kind of trying to help people along the way. I have a lot of girls that work for me and have worked for me in the past, so I feel like conversations about women and for women and with women is so impactful and important and needs to happen a little bit more.
Yeah.
I think
that.
That's why I feel like so lucky to be in the position I'm in with my job, is that I have like a personal hand in the ability to connect with women and
build them up.
Yeah, build them up and give them, kind of a different point of view or someone to like look up to in a healthy kind of way of that this is actually achievable.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah. So I think that clients is great, work is great. All that is a lot of work. It's awesome. But where I've found the most fulfillment in my entrepreneurial life is teaching people or helping people, women specifically, get to a more confident, successful place. And that seems to give me more back than actually doing hair and entrepreneurship alone.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
I love that. See, this is why I have you here today. Anyone listening is like, holy shit.
We'll get there. No,
actually, oh my God. Okay. So since we're kicking off Trauma Hour, I would just like to ask you, how are you feeling? Are you excited? Are you nervous? What's going on in your world today?
Today I'm slightly overwhelmed.
Yeah.
But, I start most days that way.
So I'm in my natural habitat.
It's like in the zone, in the vibe of where I'm at or what I'm doing. I'm all good when I'm there. It's just the kind of the wind up.
Yeah. And your sunburn's healing.
Sunburn's healing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You had a fun time in the ER the other night.
It was cool. Yeah. Just throw a little ER mix and work and
would it be an average month?
Busy life. And then
right.
You're just fully lose it.
Oh yeah, I'm good. I'm fine.
Yeah,
good. Something that I love
That's
that
life
you,
though, right?
Yeah, exactly. Something I love that you brought up is funny because we just recorded episode 2 with Dr. Kevin Gilliland, who is a clinical psychologist. We love him. He was just kind of talking about finding joy in the struggle and how a lot of times we think that they have to exist separately. They're mutually exclusive. But you kind of just brought that up, finding joy in the struggle and how we can feel like a mess and still be an inspiration to other people. Mm-hmm. And I think that is such a cool thing because you really are such an inspiration to so many people. And I'm not just saying that because we're friends and I'm gassing you up on a podcast. But you do, on the surface, everyone looking at you could be like, damn, she really has her shit together. She's so pretty. She's dressed well. She owns a business. She's married. She's got a super cute baby, a super cute dog. She lives in La Jolla. She just rolled up here in her, Gucci boots and her Range Rover. She's crushing life. And then at the same time, we were just on my couch being I had to go to the ER because my skin's coming off from a sunburn.
And in my head, I'm failing at all the things every day.
That's the thing. And you tell me that too, because it is I'm failing things in my head that other people on the outside would never know. And it's it's because all of us are going through that same kind of experience.
Yep. And that's what I mean about just being able to kind of have a platform of women in front of me, I think has really helped me realize that you just have to keep going. You get through, right? And the most that you can do is show that you can get through because you don't really realize that so many people or people in general are looking up to you or looking at you even.
Yeah, and now your daughter on top of all of that, the very earliest memories she's going to have in her whole life are forming right now watching you. No pressure.
Which is actually the biggest pressure.
Yeah.
Ever.
But you're fine. It's fine.
And I know that she's amazing, but it's more or less the pressure of providing her that happy, joyful childhood experience, but also get life done and feel fulfilled myself.
Yeah.
So
still being an individual.
Right,
You're not just a mom.
My life, but also give her the best childhood that she deserves or memories that she deserves and contentment and those kinds of things. So I feel like the most important part of the daily struggle is just to know you just got to get out of the house.
Yeah.
Got to get out of the house.
Yes. The psychologist literally just said this too.
Yeah.
You got to get out of the house.
Into the environment because I found that once I get out of the house and into any environment, I'm around other women or people that 90% of the time will make me feel better or I'll make them feel better with what I'm going through.
Yep.
And then ultimately that makes me feel better.
Yeah. It's that validation, that bond, when you can share it.
Interaction.
Yep.
And connection and talking. And I think during COVID, we kind of all got a little bit more comfortable talking about our worries and our anxieties and fears. And I think that there's a lot of strength that comes with that in
totally.
life, and especially just getting through the days and, life is hard right now and the world is kind of sad and things are tough, but really what's most important is just, human connection and knowing that we're all have good days and bad. And me and my Range Rover and my cute car and my beautiful Gucci boots, we still have hard days.
We have hard days in those boots. Walk a day in these boots, and you would know it's not all sunshine.
Sometimes I wake up and I'm like, I'm a fucking queen.
Yeah,
but other days I'm like, I'm a fucking loser. Yeah. But I really am a queen.
I'm a cave troll.
We're going to get there. Sometimes I just got to get out of the house.
Yeah, so. It's a mix of both. Do you think that like being more open and like honest and upfront with the times that are hard make it easier for you to get back to the moments where you feel more queenly?
I feel like it gives people around me that work for me or clients or family, whatever, it allows me to be softer and kinder to myself because I feel that I'm being honest with everyone around me. Yeah. So when with the pressures of like what you just said, right? I have these people or all of these things, the pressures of life and your kids and, people that work for you or people that you work for. Yeah. Those pressures are a lot. And when that kind of gets broken down to, we're just both people, right? Like, that
it gives someone the permission to also be honest.
Right. We're both here on this planet together, right? My path led me to a different place than yours did. It doesn't mean that it wasn't hard or it wasn't a struggle or, I didn't have bad days also. And the fact that you do that's okay. And you can still be in this place as I am or where you want to be with those days as well.
Yeah. I feel like sometimes we're supposed to or we think we're supposed to pretend to not have those problems. I
don't know. I've gotten a lot of feedback on that. And I'm torn sometimes because I've gotten feedback from female therapists that I've been to over the years that have said, no, show up at work every day like you are a queen and you are, on top of all of it and nothing is affecting you and you got this and nothing's anything but perfect. And I do understand that. And I think that that's very important because part of it's why you do get out of the house every day. Yeah. And you show up in a role and that role and that character that you play every day at work is one that is important because sometimes it actually snaps you out of your own head. Yeah. Which is hard, good some days, but it's also really good. But then there's the side where I don't know, is that real? What if I'm not feeling like that person that day? What if I'm not feeling like a leader? Yeah. How do I lead people when I don't feel like a leader? Right. Right? So it's like, do I just show up and pretend that everything's great? Or do I say I'm having a really hard time and I show up with no makeup on and look like a mess?
I feel like either could work. Both. Yeah. So actually, I've done this experiment. How did that go for you?
I found that right in the middle is the sweet spot, right? Yeah. You got to show up looking good. You got to show up, period. Yeah. You have to present yourself in a certain way, whether or not you're feeling like you deserve it or that is you. Yeah. You have to show up in a certain way. And then once you show up, you can communicate your struggles. Yeah. You can communicate to those people what you're feeling and how you're feeling because they also showed up. And they also 90% of the time are also feeling it was hard for them to get there as well.
Yeah, totally. So that's how we bonded.
Right, yeah, exactly. It's
this is like a true get you a girl who can do both. Like she shows up like a queen, but she's also going to tell you all the shit that's going down. Yeah. So then like I was saying, like permission for other people to share as well and not have to fake it.
Well, and like she can do it, then I can do it.
Exactly. Right? Like she can still be happy and joyful and successful and giving and loving to other people. Mm-hmm. So we first bonded my very first appointment with you. So Haley, if you are listening, thank you so much for referring me to Courtney to get my hair done because it just blossomed into this beautiful friendship. And now we literally live like 3 feet from each other.
Yep. Best thing ever.
Yeah. So we live in a commune. It's just us and our dogs and family. When I say family, I mean your family because I'm alone.
Oh my God. We need to start like a mom talk.
I know. Oh yeah. Do we need some more wine?
That?
Mom talk?
Yeah.
No, tell me more.
Mormon mom.
Oh, I heard about the drama, but I am so out of it. Thank you for this wine. Okay.
They all live in the same apartment complex.
All right. If you're listening at home and you're drinking with us, it's time to pour another.
Yep. Cheers.
Oh, Dan, can you get this sound? I'm talking to our producer while we're recording. And I'm just going to do this in front of the microphone. Oh, yeah. That's the good stuff. All right. Cheers,
Amazing.
y'all.
Cheers.
Wait, can I make a clinking noise too? This isn't even sound effects. We're doing it live. Again. Okay. More cowbell. Cool. So we back to our regularly scheduled programming.
We live 3 feet from each other.
Yeah, totally. And this all started with an appointment, which is literally like we're just talking about how you give this space, this safe space for women, men, whoever comes through your door to kind of unwind a little bit, feel like they're taken care of, feel like they're seen. And that's kind of what we're trying to do here. But this is where our friendship started because I started talking about some stuff I had been going through leading up to that point. And you opened up about something really gnarly that I think a lot of people would feel more seen and supported if you shared a little bit about today, if you're comfortable.
Totally. Yeah.
I'm just going to keep liquoring you up until you are.
I'm an open book at this point in my life, which is kind of nice because, you
nothing
get to
hide.
No, you have nothing to hide once you've kind of overcome some things.
Yeah.
I'm just here, and I'm happy to be here. My struggles and the things that I have been through are what got me here. And so I feel like, it's the hardest times in life are really what leads you to a place of contentment. I truly think that.
Right.
It's also what leads people to, it leads people to me, right?
Yeah.
So you came to me that night, and there's times that I share things and there's times I don't, right? It kind of depends on the mood, but really a lot of it is like I'm 35 years old. I have a lot of people and clients and women that are in my world that are younger, and my 20s were hard. They were fun, super fun. Super fun.
Super fun.
Really, 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 really fun.
We like to have fun. Yeah.
But with that being said, the insecurities in your own brain as a female without having that partner or having found that place that you feel like every person, woman especially, is told that they need to find, right?
Right, yeah.
The husband, the career,
the correct path,
the confidence, the house, all of those things. In your 20s is really hard because it's ultimately you're just like, it's a very purgatory state of life, in time in life.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, I have a lot of confidence that this person in this life that I envision for myself is going to happen, but it isn't yet. And so how can you be this like confident, strong, like really understood worldly woman when you haven't lived that yet? And then that's okay that you haven't because you're in your 20s.
Yeah.
So just chill out.
Everything's fine.
In your early 30s, just like chill out.
Thank you for that. I needed a little bit of that.
Honestly, like if I could just go back and take like 3 seconds each day to just tell myself none of this really matters yet.
This is fine.
It's fine.
Yeah.
This is fine.
This is fine.
Even the struggle is fine.
Yeah.
It's impossible in the moment to tell yourself that or to, it's like we read all the things, we listen to the podcast, but when you're in it, it's hard.
So hard.
It's so hard.
Like even getting out of the house sometimes. Like we both went through that.
It's so hard.
Like getting out for a walk.
Argument and you're feeling this way about your relationship or someone you're dating or your family, and it impacts every other thing in your life.
Yeah.
And is it okay that I let this circumstance in my life overshadow the potential to enjoy life or the good things?
Right.
The fact that I'm stressed out about something going on with my family, am I going to cancel the fun concert I was invited to tomorrow or today?
Which would have made you feel so much better.
Right.
Yeah.
But like, I can't because I feel like I can't in my mind. So I think a lot of where I've come to in this point at being almost 36 is just knowing that the struggle is actually what leads you to that place of understanding and contentment and
for the
joy.
greater good.
Yeah, and ability to like help other women see the light when they're in it.
Yeah.
So, when I have these clients and younger women and girls that come to me, I feel like they share certain things. I'm like, okay, yeah, that's hard, but you're still really young. So you're not through it yet.
Yeah, you got a lot of time.
Right, you got a lot of time, but also like there's more to come, but you can have all of these things with that too.
Yeah.
So my whole thing is like, look, I've been through this, and this, right? Which was hard. I had a
let's break it down.
Okay, so let's break it down. 4 years ago, I had a head-on car accident or seizure that caused a head-on car accident.
While you were driving?
While I was driving, which resulted in a TBI, well, pretty bad traumatic brain injury, a broken back, a compression fracture, 3 vertebrae, tore all the tendons and ligaments in my left ankle.
Super cool.
I'm like, what else? Those are the main things.
You had never had a seizure before?
Never had a seizure before.
And did they ever figure that out?
I was 28. Mm-hmm. It was 5:30 p.m. on a Wednesday. I was just driving. I had my brand new Frenchie puppy that was 6 weeks old and my 3-day-old brand new Jaguar SUV. So I was like at the prime of my life.
Just thriving.
I had just partnered with my business partner and he had paid a decent amount of money for the percentage that he bought. So I was like, okay, life is good.
Riding on a high.
Yeah, I did it. So I took the money that I got from that partnership and bought myself my first nice car, right? I've pretty much, I've gotten myself to this place in my life from a lot of diving into work to distract from other things in life and family and things like that. So work for me has always been like not just a safe space, but always something that, my time was being spent there, but it was something that was giving back to me and I was giving to people.
It's mutual.
Yeah, it was mutual. So it was fueling my soul in a way that was far more than money could.
Yeah.
So it felt like a healthy distraction. So then come 28, I've been, working 12-hour days and diving so hard into work and then also still having a life with friends and, being young and drinking and doing all the things and the concerts and travel. But it's like I came to this place, okay, I was 28, all the things I had, okay, my hard work was finally paying off, right?
Yeah.
It was my time to just relax and enjoy. Business partner, so I finally treated myself, bought myself a really nice car.
I would do it too. I did it without the business partner.
Boom.
Yeah, just out of nowhere.
So yeah, I bought myself a car. 3 days, it was literally 3 days old. And was driving straight with my little brand new Frenchie puppy in the passenger
Thank God
seat.
He's okay. Oh my God.
Well, okay.
Yeah, a loose term. He's doing okay.
He's great.
Yeah.
But yeah, just driving straight, a couple blocks from my house and work. And next thing I know, I woke up in a hospital and they told me I had a seizure and a head-on car accident and had broken my back. So I'm laying on the emergency room hospital bed and they're like, where were you going? I'm like, I have no idea. I have no idea. And then I looked over and there's my cute little Frenchie puppy in the ER with all the ER doctors. I'm like, oh my God, yeah, there he is. I was going to the dog park. So then it kind of came back. That's where I was going. And so, yeah, just long story short, apparently a lot of women have what's called a single onset seizure in their life.
Whoa.
It's very common, essentially, or not essentially, it's very common apparently. For women between the ages, I think it's like 20 and 35.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, to have what's called a single onset seizure. Yeah.
Wow. So cool. It just happened while you were driving.
Obviously, no one ever told me that
I've
that's
never heard that.
Common.
Yeah. And I work in this field.
Yeah. It's crazy. There was no answers as to why, still isn't. That's been hard to let go of, right? The lack of control, the lack of reason, the lack of
the why
explanation, the why.
Yeah,
the why really was really hard until finally, I don't know, months later after the accident, my therapist was like, you just have to let go. Like, it's just an accident. Accidents, the word accident was made or came to for a reason.
Yeah.
And it just happens and there is no explanation. You just have to let go.
That's such a human thing to want to apply meaning to everything.
And that's me,
Yeah,
right?
same.
I'm like, okay, so this happened. Why? And how can I prevent it from happening again?
Yeah.
And is this something I need to be concerned about in the future?
Right. Very logical.
Yeah.
Very action-oriented.
And when you knock off all of the basic things about seizure that can cause it, right? Like drug withdrawal, right? Lack of sleep.
Right. Pre-existing
epilepsy,
condition. Yeah.
Pre-existing conditions, right? All of those things. When you cross those off and those aren't the factors that led to it, it's really hard to wrap your brain around as to why.
Yeah.
Especially when I'm in like the best place, so I thought, in my life.
Healthy,
like,
succeeding,
what is the lesson,
happy.
Right. What is the lesson here?
Yeah.
Why do really bad things happen
to good people?
To good people when they're in a good time in their life. Right. And how are you supposed to, in the moment especially, it's really hard, obviously, but how are you supposed to come over that?
Yeah.
When you don't know why. And
it feels senseless.
Right. It's like, why me? So I had a period of time where it was very much like, this isn't fair. This isn't fair.
Yeah.
Right? Why me? And this isn't fair.
And it's not. That's true.
Right. It's not. It's simply not. But I think where I've come to from it and why I've led the path that I have since is just that why it happened and that it's not fair is that it had to happen to me for a reason so that I can, because I have this platform, an ability to talk to people and give advice back and make them feel good. That's why it happened to me.
Yes.
So that all I can do is talk about it and show people, here I am now.
Yep.
And this can happen to you too, and you can do it too.
Yep.
Because in the moment, it was hard. And how did I get through it? I listened to podcasts of people that are going through a TBI.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, healing your body when you've known nothing different but being somewhat healthy is really mind-blowing.
Yeah.
Because when you're young, you don't really think about so many things about, the medical system, right? Health insurance, doctors.
Which is its own thing.
Don't get me started. But, I was just like healthy, young, working, having fun, early 20s girl, enjoying my life.
And then thrown
boom,
into all this.
Right. And my life became doctor's appointments and healing.
And not just like a little sick.
And I still owned a business and had a dog and had a house that I had to pay for and all of these things.
Ended up getting married.
Yeah. I just met my now husband right before the accident.
Yep.
So
hi, Nick.
Hi, Nick. So accident was March and we got engaged in November. And I think largely because, we're programmed these days to do it all as women, right? Like be independent, do it all, have the business, have all of the things look this certain way and don't ask for help.
Yeah. That's a big thing.
Right. It's like, it's all kind of up to you. If I can do it and then so can you.
Right.
But also like, not everyone can do it the same way. Not everyone has the same support system.
And no one's doing it without help.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And how does one ask for help when they don't feel that they really have people there that can help them?
Yeah, or feel like they deserve it.
Right.
Or feel like they can ask for help.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or you've just been programmed to do it all yourself your whole life.
Did the accident change that perspective for you?
Good question. Yes. But I still think that I'm a big believer in help and all the things now, right?
Yeah. It's something you've been teaching me for a while now.
I always say, like, don't leave it all up to yourself. There's just no way.
It's impossible.
There's no way. It's impossible. And there's people out there that are better at it than you, and you need to utilize them. But with that being said, to utilize those people requires you to find them. Yeah. And that's a lot of work.
There's a little bit of initiative required.
Right. The only way reason why I'm at where I'm at is because I finally found good doctors that helped me figure it out.
And that took a while.
But it also took all my own research and doing.
Yeah. And when you're already like, you had a brain injury, right?
Exactly. So
which comes with its own thing of like brain fog, inability to concentrate, pain, fatigue, all these things. And on top of that, you have to research a brand new medical team.
Right. Because I'm being told, you're fine. We don't know why you had a seizure. We put on the EEG.
Yeah.
What I learned in the whole process is really interesting. And my neurologist told me this actually is that they know more about Mars and outer space than they do about the human brain.
Damn. That makes sense.
Yeah. The actual imaging technology for the brain is just not there yet because a lot of functions from the brain that affect the body and affect mental health and all those other things are caused by actual brain waves, right? So those are really hard for them to track. So seizures happen, they don't really know why they happen, but what happens and why it happens is because it's a misfiring of neurons from one side of your brain to the other. So the most that they can do is just put wires on you to see whether or not you have seizure activity in your brain waves.
Okay.
But that requires what's called an EEG, right? So
Right.
it's like, I don't know, it's a bunch of
Electroencephalograph.
things, like stickers stuck to your brain,
Yeah.
you know, to your skull, and you have to wear this like heavy kind of almost like cell phone slash
Like a pager?
like a pager on your side. Yeah.
Does anyone know what a pager is?
For 2 days, I know, right? For a couple of days, and my neurologist was like, yeah, you know, we can do that, but what if you have seizure activity in hour 49, right?
Right.
And we only had those on for 48 hours.
It's
we
so
can't.
hard.
There's no way. We don't have the technology to
Constantly
measure your
monitor
brain.
you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And until they do, it's still going to be this guessing game.
Yeah.
Right.
And it might never show up.
It might never show up.
Yeah.
Right. So that it is hard. It was hard, but ultimately, I finally found a doctor. I had to do my own research that specializes in post-concussion syndrome. Went and saw him, which took me 7 months to get the appointment.
So
It's neither
7
here nor
months
there.
after your accident. It took more than half a year for you to find
Under
a
the
doctor.
care of a neurologist.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I went to her and I'm like, but I'm having really bad vertigo and migraines, falling over.
Yeah. Forgetting where you're going.
I look at you and you're spinning one way, and I'm spinning on the opposite direction.
Whoa.
And it just hits you. Like vertigo, I don't wish that upon my worst enemy.
Yeah.
It's the worst thing in the entire world. Your vision goes black in one eye. Well, for me, it did anyways. And it's super debilitating. Like you can't do anything. So you're alive. Okay, you survived this. You healed your broken back. You healed your ankle. You've healed so many things.
The
It's
ligaments,
7 months
the
down the
bones.
line.
Yeah.
But you're having vertigo, migraines, which are equally, if not more debilitating than the actual other injuries, right? Which were physically debilitating.
Vestibular migraine? Wrote about this and already forgot.
I don't remember because they were always together with the vertigo.
Yeah.
So the migraines would kind of come together. So I was having that, went to my neurologist that I was under the care of after accident, and she was like,
You're fine.
You're fine.
Everything's fine.
Yeah, we did all that we could do that we are supposed to do medically, which is to see whether or not why you had the seizure and whether or not you're epileptic, which I wasn't because I didn't have another one.
Yeah.
So long story short, did my own research, found another neurologist that specializes in post-concussion, went to him. He's like, you have a full-blown brain injury, your vision's off, and you have like next to no vision in one eye.
Wow.
Lost hearing in one ear. Lost 80% of my short-term memory.
Okay.
My whole equilibrium was off. Like I was asked to close my eyes and walk on a tape on the ground in a line.
Like the drunk
Thought
test.
I had nailed it. I was on the other side of the room.
Yeah.
Like so many things that were clearly off.
And the other doctor just was like coughing out.
She just was like, you came to me for seizure. I treated you for seizure and your concussion was not what you came to me for.
With all due respect, what an asshole.
I mean, what we're talking like UCSD, very prominent, really, really good, really, really good neurologist. And this is not her fault, right?
Yeah.
She's inundated with work. I came to her for a seizure. She does not have the time to look over my emergency room report and see that I also had a concussion and maybe that these things are from that. Granted, she should.
Yeah, I'm like, what you're saying is logical, but also
you have to be an advocate for your own.
Yeah, that's the biggest lesson.
Yes.
Yeah, they're not taking care of you in America.
It takes both of us. It takes the doctor and you. You have to almost self-diagnose some things and go to these doctors.
And that's hard too.
It is hard.
Because some doctors don't take you seriously when you do that. They're like,
they don't,
that's
but
nice.
you have to keep going.
Google. Yeah.
You have to find another one.
Yeah.
You have to. And, gone are the days that we just go to the doctor and they just tell us. Right? That trust factor for me is gone.
Totally
gone.
Yeah.
And it has been up to me this whole time to figure out but seeing him, Dr. Alexander, if you're listening, thank you.
You're the best. We love you.
You're the best. He was like, no, you have a full-blown TBI and you need to go to brain rehabilitation.
So when you got that diagnosis, did you already know what a TBI was?
No.
How did they explain that to you?
It got explained to me when I entered brain rehabilitation therapy.
Brain camp.
I call it. Yep. Yep. Anyone
so it's technically not called brain camp?
No, it's called brain rehabilitation.
I've been calling it brain camp this whole time.
I called it brain camp. Oh my God. Which kind of puts like a fun little hint, like ting in there, but it's not
Trauma
fun.
with a fun spin.
It's so not fun.
Yeah, no.
It's the only way I think I could get through it was call it a camp.
I'm fine.
I'm fine. Totally fine. And everyone would look at me and be like, you're fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm totally fine.
For sure.
I just don't know how I'm here and why or that like what I should be doing, but it's cool. I'm fine.
One eye is just twitching.
Yeah, it's all good. No worries.
Everything's
I can only
fine.
see half of your face, but it's cool.
Everything's good. Yeah.
But yeah, so brain injuries and TBIs are a very life-altering, unspoken, invisible disease or injury, which is the hardest part, is that I did look fine, right? I had healed when I had my
Right.
I would have taken the broken back over the brain injury 10 times.
Damn.
Because the broken back you could see. If you
Yeah.
looked at me, you could obviously tell I had a steel cage, like
Enveloping
cast
your
on,
whole body,
right? Like
yeah.
brace on,
Yeah.
right? It was very
Like Regina George.
yes, totally.
So sorry.
And a full blown like knee, like a boot up to my knee. So it was like definitely looked like a full blown crash victim for 7 months. But
Cool.
that was it. It's not what it's. I mean, yes, it's nice to get sympathy. Let's be real, right? That's
Because
human
people
nature.
are more patient with you. People are more understanding. Like it's the
Totally.
stuff that we want every day
The
for people to
hardest
just like
part,
cut us
right.
a break.
Yeah, the hardest part was when the cast and the brace went away.
And people
And I
don't
was
see you as,
equally suffering in my head,
if not more.
if not more.
Yeah.
But the actual injury had been healed.
Yeah.
So that was hard, is hard.
Yeah.
And I
feel
think
like
a lot of people suffer from things like that you can't see.
Totally. I was just going to say, I think people with mental illness will really relate to this as well. Anyone who struggles with depression, anxiety, bipolar disorder,
The
schizophrenia.
invisibleness of it
Yeah.
is hard. And the feeling, although what may depress you or give you anxiety or me is vastly different from each other.
Right.
But the feeling is exactly the same.
Totally. It just is life
It
altering.
doesn't
It
matter
takes over.
what causes it or why you are depressed or why you feel that way. It doesn't matter.
Yep. And people
that
can't
feeling
see
is
it.
the same.
Yeah.
And no one can see it. And it's hard, really hard. So I remember the whole invisible disease thing was interesting when I heard that about TBIs because it was like, oh yeah, I wish people could see it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, sympathy goes a long way and understanding goes a long way.
Patience and
Just
compassion.
patience. And you just truly, I mean, everyone always says this, right? You never know what anyone's going through, what struggles people are going through. And that's so true.
Yeah.
And just physically wise, you don't know.
You have no idea.
Right? You don't know what they're physically going through or feeling.
Mentally, emotionally.
Right.
All
So
of
my
it.
whole life path is just to show you anyone that comes in my path that it's going to be okay. You can be me with any struggle in life, or you can be you also, of the best version of you with whatever you're going through now.
Yeah.
And still with those, right? I still have things from my brain injury. I still have bad days and anxious days. But I show up, I'm here, I got through it, and I'm here to offer a compassionate place for women to live life and hopefully learn from.
And become stronger.
Yeah.
I feel like you are the perfect example of someone who can go through something really, really hard and concurrently at the same time, not instead of or after or whatever, still have joyful experiences. And both things can be true concurrently, right? Like you went through this awful thing and at the same time, you found the love of your life and you had your puppy and you ended up having a baby. Like all of these really joyful things happened for you. Like you were saying with the concert, like if you're, if you had stuff going on with your family, could you still go to the concert? Like in this period of your time, of your life rather, you had so much going on physically, emotionally, mentally, right? You're in so much pain, but you didn't let that stop you from experiencing joy in other areas of your life.
I just had to keep going.
Yeah.
Right? And I think that's too, right? As women, like we have to push through.
Yeah.
You have to. I mean, what else are you going to do? Right?
I mean, I guess like let yourself
all I was doing in the moment
drown.
was just pushing through, knowing that this was going to get me somewhere.
Yeah.
I just knew that there was something better to come from it.
Yeah.
And that's what I always try to tell, anyone that is maybe having a hard day or a hard time in life. Like, I do believe that people are put on this earth to go through hard things to teach others.
Yep. I agree.
And if it's not teaching, it's leading, right?
Yeah.
With an open mind.
Totally.
I find myself I think I'm a pretty open-minded person.
Yeah. I can vouch for that.
I just, I respect everyone's path. I trust that if you have come across mine, you're meant to be there for a reason. And I just think that you can't control so many things. Yeah. And what you can control, and even sometimes you can't control that. Right?
Yeah.
So it's like the mind is a very, very powerful thing. I think that
you know more than most people.
Yes. Power of your mind is a true healer or the opposite thereof.
Yeah, it can be your biggest enemy. Yeah.
Yeah. So when you've gone through something like that, you tend to see relationships and people in a whole different light.
Yeah. Do you think it made you more compassionate and patient with other people?
Oh, God. No.
Absolutely not. Cool.
In fact, it made it almost on the opposite side, which I'm working on, right?
Okay.
Because I'm like, I've been through this, and you're complaining about, your tire that is flat.
Right.
I'm like,
deal with
get over it.
Yeah.
But also that to them is a really big deal, and it disrupts their life and their day. And that's okay.
And they might have something else going on that makes the tire seem like a bigger deal.
And what it is that caused them to feeling this way doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. It's that they're feeling that way, and let's help them with that feeling and make them feel better despite why.
Yeah. I love that. So the answer was actually yes.
Yes.
Yeah, in a roundabout way, it's like bringing you to that point. But also, all of this makes me kind of wonder, and I don't have an answer for this. Shocking. Do you think that our shared struggles and traumas and sorrows strengthen our relationships with others more than our joys?
Yes, definitely. Unfortunately.
I was just thinking we bonded over something really hard. You and Nick went through that really hard thing together. Like he was there for you while you went through something really traumatic, and it strengthened your relationship. When you go through all of what you've been through and then you help someone else who's gone through it too, like you're now using this as your leadership kind of platform almost, right? For like teaching and connecting with others. You're connecting over that shared traumatic experience versus like a joyful triumph. And it's not to say that we can't have those things with other people, but I'm wondering if this is kind of like the glue between humanity is our shared struggle.
I think absolutely.
Yeah.
I think it helps people bond, but it also, I think it's imperative to understand and see the light, the big picture.
Yeah.
Right? Like the struggle is what bonds people, but it's also what brings you to where you are, right? So I'm who I am now and able to enjoy the life that I have because I know that I have this life now because of that, right? Because of that struggle.
Because of the pain you've experienced and you've overcome.
If you don't use those things in like a positive way, then you just suffer.
Yeah.
Right? And you struggle.
Then it's really suffering without meaning. You were looking for the why, right?
Right.
This is the why.
This is the why.
You can use it as raw materials.
And in the moment, you can't really see it.
Yeah.
And
that's okay.
And that's okay. How could how can you expect someone to see something that they don't know is there?
Right.
Right? You just have to know that the struggles, if God or life or a greater power, whoever your person is or spirit is that you believe in has put this time in your life, it's because it's meant for you to do more or you to be in a different place.
Use it for good.
Place will come or that person will come or that time will come. You just have to trust when you're in life in the moment that you're there for a reason.
Yep.
And that you have to be actually there and be present. And just live life as it is in front of you, whether it's good or bad, and just get through.
Damn, girl.
Period.
Period. You can't drop the mic because
you just got to get through.
It's attached to a pole, and also Dan would be very upset.
Poor Dan.
I'm so sorry. I wonder what this conversation would have been like if instead of rosé we had cans here.
Oh, I love me a good can.
That's for next time.
So that's the other thing. Yeah, it's like people. I've dealt with a lot of family-related, substance and abuse and kind of alcoholism and things like that too. And so there's a whole other way of the world that lies on my shoulders with every decision I make or anyone in my world makes that's anything substance-related.
Yeah.
So that's the other thing is you come to a point when you become 35 that you're like, oh, I trust that you're going to do what's best for you.
Yeah.
And if you don't, or if you're trying to figure it out, that's okay. I'm here to, I got your back regardless.
Yep.
I'm not going to judge you if you drink wine at the end of your day, or if you smoke weed, or if you take whatever you do. It doesn't matter. I trust that you got to do what you got to do to get you to show up the next day.
Yeah.
And luckily I am fortunate to be in the position that I don't have that gene in me, right?
Right.
All three of my brothers do, or two of the three brothers do. And that's hard. It's really hard.
Yeah.
And I feel really lucky that I'm able to have some coping mechanism, like drinking with my husband, because it's fun.
Yeah.
And we enjoy it and we don't have a problem with it. Thank God.
Yeah.
Thank God. But, each person has to find their own thing
to deal with it.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
Whatever it is.
No judgment.
No judgment. Yeah. Do your thing.
Be healthy, be balanced.
Do what you have to do. No one else knows. Don't have shame. Own your shit.
Yeah.
Take the gummies. Smoke the weeds. Drink the drinks.
Smoke the weeds.
Do it all in moderation. At the end of a work day.
Yeah.
Right?
Take a load off.
Right. It's like we're doing it at 9 a.m. Maybe it's a little bit different. But, just do what you got to do.
Yeah. Just come over and hang out with me and Courtney.
Yeah.
I'm going to be on the patio with a fire pit.
Yeah, I'm all about treat yourself.
Yeah,
so,
I know you are.
Yeah, all about treat yourself and have no shame in your game and just kind of do what you have to do to get through and be the best person that you need to be to show up. And if you do what you got to do, get the help, take the things, listen to the podcast, read the books, do the meditations, go on the walks, do the workouts.
Yeah.
Everyone is so different. And there's so much out there now, which is actually the coolest part, is that there really
so many
is.
resources.
There's so much out there now. There's so many things that are better than they ever were. Like, let's say, gummies.
Yeah.
Right?
Right. I didn't have those 10 years ago, 5 years ago, 2 years ago.
Right. Like I was prescribed Ambien, right, when I was in my early 20s. And it was scary.
Ambien's gnarly.
So scary.
Yeah.
Like
Ambien is much gnarlier than a gummy.
Yeah, fully slept walk and slept cooked and all kinds of stuff. Yeah.
Really?
So then introduce gummies, which is awesome, right? Now there's these things because of research that people have done, probably because they suffered and struggled and needed help.
I need some plants.
They found these things, right? So my whole thing is like benefit from other people's hard work.
Yeah.
And take the gummies.
Yeah. That's a form of help, right?
Yeah.
That's asking for help.
Someone created these things because they wanted them or saw a need for them.
Yeah.
And if that need fulfills yours, great.
Brought to you by the Camino gummies in our fridge.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. It's been an honor and a privilege. No, but actually, this is the best. Thank you. I'm so glad that everyone listening right now gets a dose of what I get from you on a regular basis. Like when I come over and I'm like, make me feel better.
Yeah, which I'll always think anyone that needs to feel better about any choice that they've made in life, I've got you.
Yeah, day one literally was like, do you want to be my best friend?
Yes.
You're like, yes, kind of scaring me. I'm kidding. I'm fine. No, but actually, cheers again to you and to this and to asking for help.
And to all those out there.
Is that going to be a gross noise?
Brain injuries? I don't know. It's a good question. Keep going.
It's kind of gross.
My only advice. Just keep going.
Yeah. Keep going. Keep going.
Keep going. Break it down to being like a baby again. It's all about sleep hygiene.
Yeah.
It's all about the basics. Put your phone out of the other room.
Oh, yeah. That's a big one.
Turn the lights off.
Throw your phone in the garbage disposal.
Have a healthy sleep hygiene routine.
Yeah, I need to get better at that.
Yeah, it's literally when I was in brain rehabilitation in the hospital, literally it's like they break it down to you being a baby again.
Dang.
Do these things that we do for our kids.
I'm just a baby.
Blackout drapes.
Oh my God, yeah.
Noise machine.
Yeah.
Distracting lights and stimulating things, get them out of the room so that your brain can shut off.
Just be a baby.
Take the brain outside of separate your brain from your emotions and do what the brain needs, because typically, most times, emotional things and feelings and mental health is just a reaction to a physical problem or need.
Wow.
Yeah. And in kids too, right?
Yeah.
My daughter has a tantrum and she's literally trying to pull off the glass shower doors off the truck.
Oh, good.
As she's fully screaming bloody murder, which at that point as a parent, you're scared.
Yeah.
Right? I'm actually intercepting her because I'm scared that she's going to kill herself.
Yeah.
Right? So nothing about it is me trying to teach her a lesson or get her to stop, or
it's
the
pure
tantrum
safety.
is purely oh my God, she can't control whatever is happening to her. What do I do?
Dude, that's why I don't have kids. I have no idea.
I mean, shove her in the bath,
yeah.
right? Put water.
Just like football tackle.
Distract some way and hope it ends. But, when that happened to me, which is a true story.
Was this yesterday?
This is a couple weeks ago.
Okay.
The next day, I'm helping her brush her teeth. And I'm like, oh my God, she has molars coming in.
Oh.
This was an emotional reaction to a physical thing.
Yeah, totally.
Tantrums, that's all tantrums are.
Yeah.
That's all most things are, anxiety. That's what a lot of anxiety is, in my personal beliefs.
Or when like your needs aren't being met.
A lot of those physical feelings that we feel are because of emotional things that are deep set or in there.
Interesting.
Or vice versa, really. Like the emotional reaction to a physical feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's all so basic and we make it so hard on ourselves.
I know.
We twist it.
Just
so
be
much.
a baby.
Go back to the basics.
Go to bed.
Go back to the basics.
Be a baby who likes weed gummies.
Yeah, if you have bad insomnia, then put your phone in another room.
Yeah.
Go to bed early. Put your drapes up.
You got me
Buy an aura.
Yeah, the aura ring. Love that.
Sound
so
machine,
much. Yeah.
white noise, but really the basics. Try that first.
I'm gonna go to bed at like 9 tonight.
That's good.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for supporting my vision.
I go to bed at like 10. But before accident, with that being said, before, what I do think is what caused seizure now is just that, right? Like trying to figure out all of the things, but not really needing to figure out anything at all, right? Lack of sleep, pressure, anxiety, social media. I truly believe that those pressures are what caused me to have that seizure.
Damn. That's a pretty big revelation.
Yeah. And so there's a part of growing up that I've had to let go of the pressures of social media and being perfect in all aspects of my life.
Yeah.
Had to let go.
Yeah.
That's hard.
Yeah.
Right? Because you feel guilty and self-conscious and, all the other things. And all these people are doing more and better. And,
right. But even queens aren't perfect. Everyone's got something going on.
Yeah. So you just got to drop some things. And if you need to take a break from social media, because
Courtney suggested
you have to heal something. Do what you got to do.
Yeah. We all
It's going to be there.
Yeah.
It's still going to be there.
I felt
Those things
so
will be on
good.
the other side. And if people, you lose relationships because of things, that's okay. New ones will come. If the clients, you don't respond fast enough to their text and they go to someone else for that's okay.
Yeah. The
Someone
world's
else
not going
will
to
come
end.
and I'm doing the best I can.
Yeah.
And I know that that's actually pretty darn good.
Yeah.
And that I have faith in.
Yeah.
So
you're kicking ass.
yeah, I mean, some days more than others.
It's fine.
It's all fine.
Everything's
It's
fine.
fine.
Yeah.
It's fine.
You're fine. So how are you feeling now?
I feel great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were a little kind of antsy at the beginning and now everything's fine.
I mean, a little bit of wine, goes a long way.
Yeah. How
Here
much
we are.
We threw like half the bottle. It's pretty good for us. I mean, for me,
For you.
maybe me.
That is our coping mechanism, is a drink at the end of the night,
Yeah.
And also I say too, that's okay.
Yeah.
If that's what your thing is with your partner, with yourself every night, and you sit down and you have a glass of wine and you connect with yourself, with your partner.
It's mindful and deliberate. It's
That's
not, like you were saying,
okay.
it's not, you are aware, like you're very in tune with your body and like you know that this is not addiction and you've seen addiction in your family. So you've made a very clear distinction, which I think is really important for people. Like if you do notice like you're depending on it and like you can't get through.
I mean, life is hard,
Yeah.
period. Let's just like be graceful with people
Yeah.
and everyone.
Yeah.
Because it's hard. And we all know that we're all dealing with something that makes days harder than others. And I'm just here to be me and hope that I can help people enjoy their days and get through.
Yeah. Do your best, get through it.
Yeah, with
be
a
nice
little
to
bit
people.
of understanding of, life and people and whatever triumphs they're going through.
Yeah. That's perfect.
Yeah.
Dude, thank you so much.
This was fun.
This was really fun.
I want to do more.
Okay. You want to make this like a standing date, trauma hour?
Yeah.
Thank you for leading the first edition, series, episode of Trauma Hour.
Yep.
How do you feel about Trauma Hour now?
It's fun.
Yeah.
I like it.
Good times, unpacking.
Yeah. I would listen to us.
I would date me. I mean, what?
I mean, come on.
Yeah, it's fine. So, yeah, where can our listeners, which is probably like your husband and my mom, where can they find you and like get more from you and connect with you and all that good
Ashen
stuff?
Salon, Instagram.
Yeah.
AshenSalon.com.
Yeah.
Courtney, Resch. My handle is Blonde's Eye View.
Yeah.
Around.
Around La Jolla.
Always around.
Say hi. You get an Aperol
Say hi.
Spritz
Yeah.
at La Valencia with us.
I might be on a vacation somewhere, but either way, I'll respond when my brain tells me that I can.
Yeah. You'll be with me in France. It's fine.
It's okay.
Well, thank you so much. I love you.
And love you.
Cheers to Trauma Hour.
Cheers.
And a big thanks to our sponsor, our Patreon subscribers. Thank you for supporting our brand new podcast. If you're interested in supporting even more and you haven't done that yet, you can head to patreon.com/thisisfinepodcast. If you don't want to contribute financially or don't have the means, we would super appreciate hitting the subscribe button, as the kids on YouTube say. Like, comment, subscribe. You could leave us a 5-star review if you think we've earned it. All of that supports our brand new show and keeps these fun conversations going. Thank you so much for tuning in. We will see you here next week. Thanks for tuning in to this episode of This Is Fine. I've been your host, Dominique Michelle Astorino. We're based in San Diego, recording in studio at DLI Productions in Pacific Beach with Emmy Award-winning sound designer Dan De La Isla. This is a comedy and advice podcast, but for legal reasons, this entire podcast is a joke and none of it is medical advice. To download the transcript or learn more, visit thisisfinepodcast.com.